All right, so let's get started. Here we go.
In the top 3 or 4, but and like sometimes I think Nas can be a better rapper than Jay, but Jay's career makes Nas's look like, frankly, a disappointment.
But do you? But do you?
Now, granted, let's put some context behind this video, right? That is Rosenberg, as you know. This video it was released maybe back in 2018. Now, he stated that Jay's career up until that point has made Nas's career look like a disappointment. That's the furthest thing from the truth, as we know, right? We know that. But a career and productivity is based on output, right? And putting out quality music at that. Since 2018, because 2017, I believe 444 came out, right? Since then, the only project Jay has is what? Everything is Love. I don't hear anybody talking about that project. No replay value, nothing. I don't hear any females playing it, anyone. Now, granted, I'm not here to bash Jay. We're talking about the narratives that are put out there. Since 2018, Nas has released what? Nasir, KD 1, KD 2, and Magic. The dude is over 45 and just had another three-peat. Let's go to the next video.
But no, I hear you. Listen, it's a fun argument. He's the GOAT, man. I mean, Jay-Z is Jay-Z. He almost has his own category.
So now he puts out another album. Because I think that like, I don't see him not putting out another album.
Why would he stop putting it?
Yeah.
Everyone always says that. Why is he going to stop?
I mean,
he's an artist. He's going to keep making art, right? Everyone holds him to the standard of like each one has to be a classic. Let me explain something. When you get to the level that Jay-Z's at, you may stumble into another classic, but more likely what you do is make these albums, and from each album, you pull off 1 or 2 songs that get added to the concert list.
Whoa. That is a dangerous narrative. This is why it's important to have a mind of your own. Every album has to be a classic. They hold him to that standard. That's what he's stating. But what he's not being truthful about is that, as we know as Nas fans, the dude has been dealing with that monkey on his back, illmatic, since 94. And he's dropped other classics and people act as though they don't exist. So this whole narrative that Jay has to uphold a certain standard, he doesn't have an illmatic in his discography, right? So Nas has been dealing with that stigma, I should say, or those expectations that can't even be met. They're not even obtainable because they're not realistic, based on those individuals who are so in love with illmatic that they won't let him get past it. So this whole notion that Jay has to deal with the pressure and the fact that people want quality music and he has to do classic after classic isn't true, because y'all been letting him off the hook for quite some time. Magna Carta is never mentioned. I just stated Everything is Love. I don't know anyone who listens to that. Blueprint 3 wasn't good. Blueprint 2, all right, y'all make the excuse that, well, if he, condensed it down to one CD, it would be a classic. But we're not dealing with what ifs and buts. The fact of the matter is it wasn't really that great of an album. But when it comes to Nas, there's a whole different narrative. And that's what this video is all about. Showcasing those individuals who are on the airwaves spewing this nonsense. People are really taking this in without doing their own research. But if you are a true fan of hip hop and you understand and you've been with the culture for quite some time, you understand what's going on. And the narratives are disgusting. So let's continue with the next video. As a matter of fact, we'll go a little bit further with this one.
That's it. If you go look at the other artists who lasted forever, the Rolling Stones, their albums that come out in the 80s have one song people love, and they add it to their concerts to keep it moving.
And I think that's why, when I was having this debate.
Okay. I'm going to touch on that other point, that he is at the point where he only needs to put out an album and grab 1 or 2 songs and add to the catalog. That's nonsense. Because every artist needs to perform, right? So if that's the case, if you drop 6 albums, right, and you get 3 songs off of each, what's that, 18 songs, the average person should be able to live with that and continue to do shows, and the fans should be satisfied based on that standard. But that's not what we're talking about. You're talking about GOAT status and the greatest to ever do it. And if you are giving him a pass to that degree that he has so many hits that he doesn't have to put out quality music, it goes back to my previous point. Illmatic needs to be taken off the table and all standards need to be thrown in the garbage, all right? Because it's nonsensical. And these narratives, I'm going to keep speaking on it. These narratives are nonsense. It makes no sense. It's almost as if they don't even listen to the music or they don't even pay attention to the things that they state, because every other interview is something different. And the hate comes out so naturally that the viewers and the fans have to be honest with themselves and state, you know what? Let me take a step back and do my own research. And that's why we're doing this here today. No shade towards anyone. We're just speaking full, unadulterated facts. That's what we do here at the Ease Experience. Next video, let's go.
Black people, why do I want to go there?
Yo, Ibra, how about the conversation I had on Saturday night with my man Quarterman, who's from Brooklyn, hip hop head from Brooklyn, but he's been in Maryland now for 20 years. Went to college there, stayed there. Me, him, my brother, my boy Marshall, we're all sitting around talking about hip hop, and Ether and Takeover came up, and everyone at this table's like prefers Takeover, and I'm like, Q, you've been away from New York a long time. Everyone in New York basically is an Ether person, which I've always found absurd. I mean,
Well, it's too. See, I've always gotten into this convo, right? Where's this? Where's
it's absurd.
this?
It's absurd. It's not even close.
There's a lot of
The
people that
Ether's
are
not
To
good,
you.
guys. It's
To
not
you.
good.
No.
I
To
don't-
you.
Of
No,
course.
Ether's not good. Why isn't it good? Because the lyrics are lacking, or you don't like the beat, or is it the fact that you can't deal with a loss? So now we're trying to have revisionist history and rewrite the entire experience. It's not good. If it wasn't good, why were so many people bothered by it? The person he was battling was actually bothered by the lyrics. So if it wasn't good, and if it wasn't quality, and it wasn't effective, why are you so bothered, and why are you spewing hate and misinformation? Let's continue.
Saying it wrong, but you
Personal
guys are saying it
opinion.
wrong. You're
You're
saying
wildin'
it
for that.
wrong.
You guys are.
Ether bodied Hove.
Facts.
As songs go, when you listen to them now, right? Takeover is a better song.
It's not even close that it's a better song.
No, but I'm agreeing with you.
But that's not how we rate battles.
But that's not.
who
It
got
wasn't.
bodied.
Nas! Jay-Z's the king!
No,
He's the
no,
king!
no.
Jay-Z is the king. You see how he's trying to move the goalpost now? This is how you know when you got dudes cornered, because their points and the points of their arguments or the debate, whatever it is, seems to move ping pong all over the place, because he understands now that he is so invested in protecting his king that he's not being honest with himself or the viewers. There's people watching this stuff, man. And when they talk like this, not they, him in particular, it makes him seem as though he's been bought, because you're not giving any factual information. You're talking as if you were the only one in the room who experienced what took place over the airwaves. And this whole notion that people in New York feel like Ether was the better song. I know some people who feel like Takeover is better here in New York, but I know people out of town who felt like Ether was better as well. So you can't speak for everyone. But the fact of the matter is, with this particular battle in the city, there was a competition aspect and there was a voting aspect on the radio, right? Now, granted, I wouldn't say they didn't put Ether up against Takeover, but they're going to get into the later point about Super Ugly. That was the battle, the rebuttal. Let's continue.
Not in
About
the- not in that
that
battle.
specific
Not in that
battle.
battle.
I
in
disagree.
the war,
I
in the
disagree.
war, Jay
In
wins.
the war,
Yes.
Jay wins.
In the battle, Nas won. Ether won.
But I got to tell you, if that one,
What war? I stated this maybe about a couple of months ago in my video, a response to DJ Vlad and TK Kirkland not liking KD2, right? There was no war. It's a rap battle. Stop trying to add on different criterias just to make an individual feel as though they won. It was a rap battle. It was not a war. Now, granted, once again, this is no animosity towards Jay because it's not him out here stating these things. It's individuals like Homeboy who's talking that's not giving correct information because, like I stated before, he's so invested in being a fan that he's not being honest. He's not being honest. You can support individuals without lying to yourself or lying to the people. It was a rap battle, not a war, right? A rap battle. Stay with me. A rap battle, not a war. Let's continue.
One, it's a testament to the fact that when people listen, they don't pay attention to the right things. They just hear loud insults and go, ooh.
Yeah,
That's what a
That's
battle
what the
is.
battle is.
I mean, be cerebral. Jay says stuff that meant way more.
Like what? Like what? He said stuff that meant way more, right? And at that time, we had Illmatic. It was written, I Am and Nostradamus. One hot album, that's misinformation. That wasn't cerebral. That was individuals caught up in their feelings, still repeating the same old nonsense, not being honest with themselves. But let's let him continue to bury himself. Let's go.
Too inside.
Like
It-
what?
The
And-
battle
And
was,
by the way, remember, Takeover dealt with two. Dealt with Nas and Mob. It dealt with
Maybe
two.
someone, is anyone else? Yeah, at least
It was
at least
Nas
those.
and Mob, right? He dealt with two things, which in my opinion is like, oh, he took on two opponents in one song. That was a phenomenal song. Ether was just at Jay, so it was more direct. And Nas peeled him apart. You know, you said cerebral. Nas definitely got at his psychology a little bit.
Nas also got things just factually wrong on the song.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on. But that's in retrospect. At the time, you didn't know
Shawnee,
that.
I'm sorry. And I'll tell Ron Browse. I've told Ron Browse, who's a
What did he get factually wrong? Let me know in the comment section. Now, I'm one of those individuals who like to I'm honest with myself. Like, let me know what was factually wrong. Yeah, there was some insults and things of that nature, but what was factually wrong? Let me know.
Got Ether won.
Eat the one, bro.
And I mean, listen.
Ether one, bro.
By
Jeez.
the way,
can't change history,
you guys
bro.
could all
You
have
can't
your-
change history, bro.
No, the problem is Nas doesn't even perform Ether. Does Jay-Z perform Takeover?
No.
Oh, yes, he does. I forgot because he
Really?
won. Yeah.
What? Yo, he out here dumbing. He's bugging right now. He is, I keep telling you, he's so obsessed with getting the W. He done moved the goalpost 100 yards this way, 50 yards this way, back 75 yards the other way. First of all, the beat, that whole narrative, Ether beat, so it was about the lyrics. That's what it was. Stop trying to, no. It was the lyrics that Ether burns slow to this day because of the lyrics. Secondly, I scoured the internet and I looked for some footage of Jay performing Takeover around that time. I can't find it. So what is he talking about? He still performs it. They've been cool for a minute now, so I know for a fact they both buried that in the vaults. Ether and Takeover, they're not performing those songs. So he's blatantly lying on the airwaves just to feel as though he is victorious in the debate. But even his co-workers, his colleagues are calling him out. They clowning him on the low because he's making no sense. Sometimes you got to bow out gracefully, especially with these bad narratives. I know we live in a world with the hot takes and everyone has to have the most outlandish story to tell. But keep in mind, there are other individuals on this planet who actually pay attention and who are ready and willing and able to call you on your BS.
As God is my witness,
go.
I've
Here we
seen
go.
Jay-Z
Ether
perform
before.
Takeover. No, I'm not going to get shouted down. Jay-Z performs Takeover at venues with 20,000 people singing along. Nas does.
Rosenberg. I like
What?
Takeover way better than Ether.
No, I know you're just trolling me. I'm
No,
aware of
I'm
it.
dead serious. But Ether won.
I just don't understand what a victory is then. A victory has a funny look.
No, it's
A victory has a funny look. No, you looking funny right now because you're not being an honest individual. I'm just laughing at this stuff, and I'm doing this video primarily because of narratives. We always talk about this in comment section, whether it's my videos and other videos containing Nas. The fans always call out the BS. We know, and that's why I'm doing this video, because for so long, individuals know what's going on, but we're kind of quiet about it. Nah, this needs to be out in the mainstream as well, because if you're going to be a part of the culture, let's keep it a buck. No need to lie, especially when we're talking about something that happened over 20 years ago. And those individuals have moved on. They get money together. They both excelled, right? Which is a beautiful thing, because we always want to see people eat. Ain't no hate over here. But at the same time, give individuals their flowers. You don't have to hate one and love the other. That's not what this is about. But when it comes to this hip hop thing, writing, literary prophecy, and being a prodigy and being a king at his pen, that's Esco. And they got to come to terms with that. Let's continue.
It's in the moment. It's a momentary
In the
thing,
moment.
but yet in a battle, it's who got the crowd in the moment.
And you know what? The part
Like,
that
this
people
is-
forget is that Jay kind of bodied himself for Super Ugly. So that's what happened.
Well, I choose to forget that part. Okay.
See, there you go. That's what happened.
All that yelling for that, really?
He chooses to forget that part. He just pretty much made my point. Super Ugly wasn't a good record. Takeover was a great song. But what he did was he underestimated the ability for Nas to come back. And he had no more bullets in the chamber. That's what happened. He got cocky. He felt he can kick a man when he was down. He dropped it. Because in his mind, if you say something long enough, you'll start to believe it. That's a one hot album every 4-year average. Oh, he fell off. I can get him now. Because he believed it, believed the hype. Woke up a sleeping lion. And ether to this day has become a verb. It's been a word. But anytime you think of ether, you think of Nas, right? It kind of like catapulted his career to new heights in a sense, right? But he always found a way to go back to doing exactly what he wanted to do, right? Which is stay below the radar and release quality music. But the fact of the matter is, narratives will exist. They will. That's just part of life. But if you know the truth, right? Sometimes just sitting back and saying, "Oh, sometimes you got to speak up and let it be known." I mean, especially with this hip hop thing, man. Like, this means a lot to me. I live and breathe this. And the fact that we sat back so long and watched individuals kind of move the goalposts and different criteria have to be met depending upon who the other individual is. Nah, that's whack. It's over with. And we're going to call out the BS. So this whole notion about you just got to release an album and grab 1 or 2 songs from it, if that's the case, Esco got to be held to that same standard. And which is funny is when Magic was released, Cypher Sounds and Rosenberg tried to front on it as well. So if that's the case, you mean to tell me you ain't like 2 songs on it that he can add to his catalog when he's performing? Nah, you was looking for another Illmatic, a classic, which further proves my point that you are not invested or interested in the truth. You just want to label the individual king that you like, as opposed to who truly deserves it, man. So let me know what you think about this video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, as we state here at the TheEezeExperience, go get yours.